Hey, I got to go home for 24 hours yesterday. Got
My kids, I'm charged up.
We're gonna kick some butt today. And you know what? The world is watching.
The name for Canadian Food Inspection Agency is the Canadian Animal Cruelty Agency. Remember, my position has always been from even the beginning, I've been very diplomatic at this. I have been very kind and
Kaka even defend you and say that you have a very important role in Canada, but that's true. But you're not Kaka.
Canadian Food Inspection Agency, you need to lose your jobs. All of you need to be charged with animal cruelty. I hope all of you get charged with animal cruelty. You are evil. You are evil human beings.
Remember.
Very diplomatic at Kaka.
Any sample at all.
And this is the reason why, which is very important that we all pay attention here, because this is what we need to battle. And this is where we need to get to the top layers of this, and it's very important.
So hold our position that we are testing them.
Basically the reason is once you have a farm or any facility and any animal will test positive for avian influenza, any further sample has no effect on the outcome, which
they're trying to basically kill those animals, right? So, and the main reason is Canada is the part of the
international agreement, and that international agreement basically dictates what you have to do or what you cannot do. And simply at the end of the day,
it's just about the dollars, because if the birds stay alive, you know, Canada is put on the bad spot, and you cannot export the meat or animal
products or the bird products, and it doesn't matter whether it can be same with the tuberculosis and mad cow disease and any other diseases, and we've seen.
And that's what's been reiterated to you, is that these men out there and women at Canadian Food Inspection Agency, for the most part, I mean, not one of them really want to be there, and they don't really understand, and they don't have the ability to make change.
Kaka.
Camille was very happy that we got to treat Betsy. Betsy, would you like to speak about Betsy?
Yeah.
Media saying that we have multiple sick animals. Several sick animals. We did not. There's no sick animals.
So the Betsy, she's
elderly ostrich, and Betsy has a chronic osteoarthritis. I would say Betsy, she's well fed, she has enough of water, she's in good body condition, and she has a relatively happy life.
Neglect, animal cruelty by the Canadian Food Inspection Agency.
Older, species, human being or a dog or cat.
It doesn't matter,
but there was.
And then there was one alarming thing to that, though. So Camille was able to treat her today, but in his request, can they repeat this treatment for us? And there was no. They can't. They asked him if he would come back and do it.
why is that?
Yeah. So did he give you a reason why?
I think so. They didn't give me a reason, but I would probably assume me to practice vet medicine, I have to have a private license, and anybody who works for government has a public license, and basically they just cannot treat the animals no matter what it is. They just simply, because they are not licensed to do that, so that would be really problem for them, and they could lose their license. So I understand, maybe they just cannot do it because it's a simple fact of licensing.
To me, I guess this raises another concern, though. If we have somebody here that says high
up the totem pole of Canadian Food Inspection Agency at the federal level, and we have this much power and presence here, spending this many millions of dollars to shut a force and kill. How do we not have someone
have higher level of
Well, somebody could make a decision about
exactly,
that,
and have somebody here to be able to maintain the welfare of the animals. But so that was that. We want to thank the Canadian Food Inspection Agency for allowing Camille to go into the general public, because there is animals of concern. That one had a broken big toe that he's just been living with the way it's healed. We had one half blind.
There's no sick animals.
We have Betsy, but the ones that they allowed Camille to go and look.
That was positive, and I do appreciate they took me there, because initially I was supposed to only see Betsy and not to go to general public. So we looked thoroughly, and we didn't find any lame birds. There were like 3 hens, the guy with a broken toe, and one was, I think, so blind, right?
Yeah.
So we didn't manage to find anybody. So I would say that was pretty positive. Probably
it's positive for my sweet Camille.
It's not positive for us.
But where did they go? and where are they right now. But that'll be something futuristically, because that's speculation, and nobody likes speculation. We actually would drive off science and honesty and transparency and truth, facts. We're
factor in, which I think you are very much too. And so we want to see where these animals are. But no blood, that they said very clearly that blood just does not make a difference. If every one of those animals, we've been told this in January, if every one of those animals tests negative, it doesn't matter, they still have to die to in and out because of international
trade.
One case is enough.
Yeah.
And that is a problem here, and that's what we're fighting for at Universal Ostrich Farms, is change for Canadian farmers and small farmers, resiliency. We're fighting for natural immunity and antibodies to be recognized, and herd immunity, and even if it's just a longer time frame, so that we can still preserve our international trade.
But if we had a longer time frame to isolate, test, and monitor, and then retest, but giving a farm a little bit longer of a time while we're following the proper protocols to do so we're not affecting international trade. But overall, I think today was wonderful. They let you in. Thank you, Canadian Food Inspection Agency.
Animals, our animals, they're not your animals. Shame on you, Canadian Food Inspection Agency, fucking animals.
For that, because this is really hard on us with Spirit dying. And obviously some neglect on our part.
Was what we witnessed, so it's nice to have somebody we trusted.
Lastly, I would like to add that I did appreciate they took me there, and I could also check the welfare for the animals. So the food is good, they're fed what farm provided.
Did they tell you that, Camille? Or
Did you see? They
I
probably told you.
saw the food there. I asked which kind of food is that,
Okay.
right? And I assume that's
Yeah,
the
just-
food they get.
yeah.
So they do get the fresh water. The fresh water comes with the hose. They get the sprays there as well. That's from the well, and they get the pond water. And as far as the bedding for resting, like straws, it's there. And they do get fed alfalfa as well as a green. They just don't eat the leaves. So
Yeah.
from that aspect, I think so they've been taken care of well.
Neglect, animal cruelty by the Canadian Food Inspection Agency.
Straws, it's there. Aspect, I think so they've been taken care of well.
You mentioned.
And they deserve, I think so.
Yeah, you mentioned one really interesting thing that you said down, like once they told you about, just like
Alive. It goes against everything that you try to do when you
the good, healthy animals being destroyed due to a trading partner policy. So I just do hope that between your career and all of your expertise, that you love to see animals survive, that we get to bridge those connections and make the changes in Canada that I think we all deserve, and save some animals.
Did you find that the CFIA was quite receptive to what you were talking to them about?
Yeah,
Like
very
they were
nice. We
engaging?
had a very good discussion. They were very nice people. I have to admit that.
Yeah.
So that's good. Thank you. So that was great. We're going to let Camille get on his way.
Okay, thank you
The
guys.
spelling of your name. Is that okay? Yeah.
Sure. KAMIL SVANCARA.
Thank you for your time.
It's a long name.
that's good.
Sorry, could you
Is it possible?
KAMIL, Camille, SVANCARA, Svankara.
So the CFIA had suggested that they could tell the temperature of a bird by looking at it. Is that
Something that can happen? Can you look at a bird and be able to determine the temperature of it?
No,
I don't think
we know.
Oh, sorry. Good question. You could do this from
if you look at the infrared camera, those ones they can tell you, but not with the naked eye and the big bird like that. Right? Yeah. I tried that too, it doesn't work. And we did try, and there was the again, they didn't want to pass out. They had tissue samples off Spirit. They It's a little bit confusing because it seems like
the USA, our biggest trading partner, wants
to facilitate this. They want to help. Thank you. We're going to continue down that path, but the United States of America is also bowing out of the food, right? The backing out of the World Health Organization for very good reasons, and I think we can see that why and what effect has on countries like the United States, and why they're choosing to bow out of that, because like it's impacting us here in Canada. So we're going to just keep fighting for life versus eradication and signs of speculation. And here we have science, and we thank you for coming out.
Thank you for
guys,
coming out.
Camille,
I
I missed the beginning of this. Can you kind of go over again what you found when you examined the birds?
Well, we did
You mean
Betsy's.
all of them or just one?
We just
Whatever you
So
did.
the Betsy
Betsy, the elderly
Ostrich, she has a chronic osteoarthritis in that joint, in the hock. There is a big osteophyte, like a callus, basically calcified. The joint itself has a good range of motion, and obviously
there is some chronic ongoing pain in the joints.
Same like for a human, and you just have to
live with it and she can have a happy life. So Camille was able to treat her, but our problem is now is that treatment won't be able to be replicated. We won't be able to re-administer any treatments. We're going to figure that out, bridge that connection again. And again, that's one of those things, right, with communications with Canadian Food Inspection
Agency that we need proof that eroded trust has been.
With the dumping out of electrolytes, we gotta maintain sure
that she's not going to be in pain and that her pain level goes down and her inflammation stays low. So the proper tour of medicine in this is
5 doses, is that
correct.
Could be 5 days.
Like it's every 3 days, you know, there's
the depot form of penicillin, right, and dexamethasone, and you do about, it depends on the case, but minimum 3 shots up to 5 shots you do it. The other options are you can use oral antibiotics, right, for the, assuming, let's say, there would be infection in that joint. But again,
this is a farm animal usually, you know.
you do the X-rays and all that is
off table because the animal cannot leave the premises, and there has to be
also a certain reasonable level with farming animals, how we treat them. You know, I used to do large animals, not
Anymore, right? But
so usually you treat them symptomatically and
based on your clinical experience in a life. If
that usually works out, that's good. The other antibiotic they would need to be given orally every single day. That's an option as well, but it's out of the question here because nobody can do that.
So
Did you get to examine any
other birds?
No.
The other birds, we just did a herd exam.
for assessment,
A drive
initially
around.
I was, as I said, initially I was denied to do that, but they were great. They allowed me.
They went with me. We were looking for the lame birds and for the bird with the
Broken toe without
were
the
not able to
success,
find them.
so we were not able to find them. So
that is something
that's
of
probably
concern
positive.
to-
Let's put it that way.
He
probably.
says it's something of concern to us. I'm going to say, though, as a farm, I love you, Camille, but I mean, we've been just doing this and we've been lied to so many times that we don't know if those animals are still out there.
Have a vet coming.
Oh,
Our
right.
vet is coming.
Finally.
How do you feel about that?
I'm very stoked. I'm very stoked that we get someone that we can trust on the inside. Because
Yes,
that hasn't
someone we
happened
trust.
since the few
But I mean, we've been just doing this and we've been lied to so many times that we don't know if those animals are still out there.
Fix what is happening here at the highest levels possible. And we need to see the UN and the World Health Organization and the World Animal Health Organization respond to how do we protect Canadian industry.
Did you ask if you could do a blood test? What kind of reaction?
Yes, no, you cannot do the blood test, and even though basically no sample can leave the premise, which is under quarantine, right? Secondly, it doesn't matter whether you
do the testing. As soon as you have one
Positive case for avian flu, you know, that's it. That the whole flock or herd of the mammals has to be destroyed because we are part of that Canada, of that international agreement. And if you don't stick to that agenda, it's going to impact you negatively, economically, basically, right? And that is a concern now because the economic toll that it may take is actually so wiping out farmers, which is taking even more economic toll. But not even just a toll on economical side, it's our livelihoods. And so I think we need to really address that. But
I'm going to keep this short. This has been a long day for Camille and he has to drive. So I think we're just going to...
Just one more question. As a farmer,
yes, why is it
we do not have high quality crops. We do have other animals that do have contagious diseases that can be transmitted to but yet they don't have the same protocol. Because we don't have proper outbreak response. And that's international. I believe that's an international agreement. You know, WHO and they set up the rules. Cherry picking is my question. That's not Camille. I didn't know that. You know, that's something we have to look at as farmers. So it is. So what we're fighting for, you know, as Ostrich farms, is proper outbreak response control. And that is not a one-size-fits-all solution. That we're looking at industries separately. We're looking at animals separately. We're looking at the situation and. There is other options. They jumped to stamping out on our case.
It does happen with
some diseases, but I guess avian flu is, well, I guess those epidemiologists, they make those decisions. Yeah, and I think we need to follow more protocols so that we, like I said, we do have other animals in this industry that can push it onto humans. Why is it they have a quarantine and then they're okay to go back in, whereas
quarantine area.
Because the protocol for avian flu is one positive, you have to cull, you have to kill everybody, you're right, though.
disinfect and
We need to change.
yeah, that's what it is. That's the policy, right? That's the policy.
It's pretty positive that your vet was let in, but what was he not allowed to do? That was
The blood test, but again, so
Camille, there's
But
two
it-
parts to this.
but-
Yeah, there's two parts to
I
this.
know.
Blood test would be amazing. We're going to
Prove they know these animals are not sick.
But
they
at
know,
the
but
moment,
still pause.
I'm still positive.
I know
Always
they're
positive.
really pushed for that.
That's kind of policy change before.
The world is watching the right.
Yes, the next thing is going to be cows and cattle and pigs.
Oh, it is, but that's not going to happen. We're going to change it.
But with cattle, it still happens. If you get a tuberculosis in your herd, everything is killed.
Not even about
These are for research, and Big Pharma doesn't want it. They want to kill it. And so in Carney's right behind me, he's got shares now with Moderna and all those other things.
whether or not you like the vet, he's doing his job. He's just reiterating what the rules are. He's not saying he's on one side or the other. He's
Allow this family to